I almost died this summer. I really almost died this summer. I was on the road, had a shitty sore throat, didn't think much about it. Kind of turned into a cold, that kind of thing. Then I came home and I got that same sore throat again. So I go, I'm home, I'll go to the doctor, which I never do. So I went to the doctor and he made me wait like a long time. And I was gonna go like, oh, fuck this, but I stayed. He looks down my throat and he's like, we're going to the emergency room right now. I had an abscess at the top of my windpipe, which is where your breathing comes from. So like this abscess was either gonna grow another millimeter and stop my breathing and I would die, or it was gonna explode and it's filled with poison and that would kill me. Don't be scared, it's really rare. It's not gonna happen to you, unless it does, I guess. But, so I had to go to the hospital and then they put me under like a general anesthetic, like some sort of drug just to chill me out before surgery. And like unbeknownst to me, they're telling my friend Amy and my boyfriend Michael, they're like, this is a very dangerous surgery. She might not make it. You know, it's very risky, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, I feel fine, and I'm just like, I'm not high enough. I was complaining that I wasn't high enough, and I can tell you exactly what happened because Amy had the utter distaste to record this whole thing. So you just see me going like, I'm not high enough. And then they're like, you're okay. And then I proved to them that I wasn't high enough by explaining Brexit. And it was very nuanced, and I had opinions, and it was like really perfect. Like you can hear the anesthesiologist go like, wow, she's right on. And then you see me like getting wheeled out, and then like Michael and Amy couldn't come with me like past the operating room doors or whatever. So I, like as I'm leaving, I said to Michael, which is something we like to do, like if the elevator doors are closing or something, like I want to see other people. And then the last thing you see on the video is me looking at her into her phone and going like, play this in slow motion on my death reel. So then I had this surgery and I lived. And, but it was a rough week because I have very low blood pressure, I guess. And so they couldn't put me to sleep for it. And so I had to have, once the surgery was done, they put a breathing tube down my throat. And then because it's human nature, if you're awake, to pull something that's in your throat out, they had to tie my hands down. So every time I would wake up, I would go to pull this thing out of my throat, and then I would see that my hands were tied down, and then I just thought what anyone would think in that situation, which is I've been captured by ISIS. And it was so scary. And then like a sister would have to come to my side and be like, sweetie, you're okay, you just had surgery, they have to have your hand, you know, and then I would understand, and then I would fall asleep, and like a minute later I would wake up and the whole thing would happen again. And it was really scary, it was a nightmare. I don't remember, like I was awake, but I don't remember anything. And there were a few funny stories, like, I would be really itchy. The medicine that was in me was so itchy, but my hands were tied down, and my sisters would fight with the nurses to just let one hand free so I could scratch. So they finally did, and it was like I had an itch, like just vagina adjacent, and it was like so much relief. And then my friend John was standing in the corner, and I guess, I don't remember this, I was told this, I pulled my hand out and then I like served it to John. And then another time, like my hands were tied down and then I served it. And then he was like, in my mind, I don't remember. Oh, another time, I was told a nurse was in the room, and I somehow, like, even though I had no mouth or hands, but I, like, made it clear to her, like, it was an emergency, I had to tell her something, and they had given me, like, paper and a pencil, and I'm writing, and it's, like, so important, and I finally finish, and then I show it to her, and she looks, and it just says, "Do you live with your mother?" with a picture of a dick. And, I mean, it's really proof that once your conscious mind is out of the way, it's just like sheer comic genius.